Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Professor Mojeed Alabi. I represent the North, the South, Egbedore, and Ejigbo Federal Constituency. And I'm lucky to be from the same state as Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have this matter of urgent public importance bordering on recent flood incidents in some states of the Federation and the need for the federal government to urgently intervene to assist those states. And I seek to move that this House do suspend the relevant rule to enable me move as a matter of urgent public importance. And secondly, to deem the matter as urgent and of public importance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I remain Diri Daoye, representing to second the motion.
Those in support of that motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable.
The second part of the motion as moved by second.
Those in support of that motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Professor Mojeed Alabi, move the motion.
From the Ecological Fund to Osun and other states affected or threatened by flood disaster. The House notes the alarming devastation attributable to the perennial incidents of flooding in Nigeria and its suffocating impact on the nation's farmlands, human habitation, and sources of livelihood, with the attendant deleterious impact on accruable revenue for developmental purposes. The House is aware that incidents of flooding in the recent years have been catastrophic for the country. The year 2012 had been the worst in the nation's history of flooding, with 30 states seriously affected, 363 persons killed, and 5,851 injured, with over 2,100,000 internally displaced. Flooding accounted for 19 deaths, 8,000 displacements, and 2,217 farmland destructions in 2013, while 53 deaths, 100,420 displacements were recorded across 17 states of the Federation in the year 2015. The House is also aware that the early warning notices released by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, as well as the 2016 Annual Flood Outlook of Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, suggested that about 11 states of the Federation were prone to flooding, with varying degrees of wreckage already witnessed in such states as Benue, Borno, Niger, Nasarawa, Plateau, Sokoto, Yobe, Zamfara, and my own state of Osun, with an addition of Cross River states this last weekend.
And Anambra too. Prof, Anambra is included.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I enjoy the benefit of Mr. Speaker's protection fully today. Also aware, further aware that since 2011, the state government of Osun in particular had put in place a number of precautionary measures towards averting flooding, such as dredging and expansion of all waterways and river courses, declaration of a 90-day emergency environmental sanitation, massive tree planting campaigns, procurement of refuse collection vans, among other initiatives, in the face of non-release of ecological funds to the state since November 2010, when the Rauf Aregbesola administration got to power. The House is informed that some other flood-prone states had also initiated precautionary measures towards preventing flooding. The House is concerned that the economic challenges facing the nation has seriously challenged the capacity of flood-prone states to solely bear the cost of funding flood control and management measures without intervention by the federal government and other donor agencies, with the attendant threat to lives and property of their citizens. The House is concerned that the sources of livelihood of the victims of the recent flooding in Osun and other affected states have been terribly paralyzed, necessitating immediate intervention by way of emergency financial and material reliefs to cushion the effect of the recent flooding and thereby assist the government concerned to alleviate the suffering of the victims, as well as put in place enduring infrastructures that could contain the anticipated massive flooding, as recent early warning notices indicate. The House hereby resolve: number one, to call on the federal government of Nigeria to make urgent and special releases from the ecological fund to Osun and other states affected and or threatened by flood disaster to assist them in constructing concrete and durable canals across the flood-prone communities in order to permanently arrest the perennial flooding in these communities. Secondly, the House mandates the House Committee on Environment and the House Committee on Emergency Disaster Management to liaise with the Ministry of Environment and other relevant MDAs on the need to ensure prompt execution of flood control projects contained in the 2016 approved budget, including zonal intervention projects. And lastly, the House urged the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to fast-track the process of making essential relief materials available to the victims of the recent flooding in Osun and other affected states of the Federation, in order to bring succor to the sufferings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleague, for enabling me to move this motion.
Any seconder? Honorable Fred Agbedi. In the course of the flooding of the environment, and we had to rise for a minute of silence. So it's a motion that is popular. I will put the question first before I had additional rulings. Those in support of that motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. When Prof was moving the motion, he mentioned so many states that received early warning in respect of a flooding. So I would advise other colleagues who have similar motion not to bring to the floor again, just pass on to the rules and business, then we pass to the relevant committees and make sure that it's attended to. So on that note, that motion is referred to Committee on Environment, National Emergency Management Agency, and Climate Change. The three of them are very relevant.